A very good morning to all of you. I am Dr. Priyanka Mishra, Department of Electronics and Communication, wishing you all a very happy Engineers Day. I am privileged and it is an honor for me on this remarkable day to welcome our Honorable Chairman Dr. Devesh Kumar Singh Sir and Honorable Chancellor Dr. Vikram Singh Sir for having given their precious time to this occasion towards encouraging the budding engineers to build future India. And it's my immense pleasure to welcome the chief guest of this occasion, our Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir of Noida International University, Professor Dr. Jayanand Sir, who always been a guide for us in all respect and shown more enthusiasm in building the better future engineers. Sir, it's our pleasure to have you all here on this occasion and I welcome you on the behalf of the School of Engineering and Technology, Noida International University. It also gives me immense pleasure to welcome the Director of School of Engineering and Technology, Dr. A. Shanmuganathan Sir, who is very determined in leading the school towards its mission and vision. We welcome you, sir, and I extend a cordial welcome to all the directors, HODs, faculty members, and staff members of all schools and institute of Noida International University. I extend a warm welcome to the students and guests who are online today. I again welcome you all and wishing you all a very happy Engineers Day. Thank you.
Honorable Chairman Dr. Devesh Kumar Singh Sir, Honorable Chancellor Dr. Vikram Singh Sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Dr. Jayanand Sir, the directors of all schools, the HODs, faculty members, my dear beloved students, and all other online participants. It is our privilege to be here today to celebrate the 159th birthday of Bharat Ratna Sir Moksagundam Visvesvaraya, the great civil engineer the world has seen centuries back. Sir Moksagundam Visvesvaraya was born on 15th September 1861 in Muddanahalli near Chikkaballapur, Karnataka. He went on to become India's most prolific civil engineer, dam builder, economist, statesman, and can be counted among the last century's foremost nation builders. Sir M. Visvesvaraya was also the Diwan of Mysore from 1912 to 1918. He was the chief engineer responsible for the construction of Krishnarajasagara Dam in Mysore. He transformed the Mysore state into what was then known as model state. Also, he was the chief designer of the flood protection system for the city of Hyderabad. He also designed and patented the automatic Veer water flood gates first installed at the Kadakvasla reservoir in Pune in 1903. Due to his outstanding contributions to the society, the Government of India conferred Bharat Ratna on this legend in the year 1955. He was also awarded the British knighthood by King George V and hence has the honorific Sir. Sir MV is known worldwide for his contribution to harnessing water resources. Due to Sir MV's exemplary contribution towards the nation building, his birthday is celebrated on 15th September of every year and is observed as Engineers Day to recall, remember, respect, and feel proud of his dedication, contributions, and achievements as an engineering professional towards nation building. Today, we, the School of Engineering and Technology in Noida International University, is celebrating Engineers Day amidst COVID-19 over digital media to pay our deepest and heartfelt tribute to Sir M. Visvesvaraya by exhibiting students' technical posters and projects in online mode to bring out the talents possessed by our beloved students, thereby emphasizing the key role of engineers in building tomorrow. And I congratulate all my beloved students and HODs and faculty members who are guiding them for the same. Now, on this auspicious day, I am absolutely delighted to welcome the chief guest of this occasion, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Noida International University, Professor Dr. Jayanand, sir. I welcome you, sir, on behalf of School of Engineering and Technology. Sir, this day is a very special day for engineering community across the nation, and it is our privilege to have you on this auspicious day as a chief guest to embellish the occasion with your expertise and experiences that could inculcate a new thought process among engineering students for developing a better tomorrow. Wish all of your presence makes this occasion more remarkable and a great success. Thank you all. Stay safe and stay healthy.
Respected Vice Chancellor Professor Jayanandji, respected Director SET Professor Shanmugunathanji, Dr. Pratibhaji, it gives me immense pleasure to greet all of you and NIU family on the Engineers Day. This is a sacred day when we celebrate the great contribution made by Sir M. Visvesvaraya ji, an engineer of such repute that the world salutes him. And that is the way and the reason why the whole of the nation celebrates 15th September as the Engineers Day. I would like to compliment each one of you for the extra efforts taken by you during this lockdown to celebrate the Engineers Day. I am given to understand that the students have made excellent presentations, and these presentations have required a lot of effort and time. God bless you for that. Continue to excel, work hard, keep on smiling, and happy engineering.
Namaskar. Today we are celebrating Engineers Day. Happy Engineers Day. We celebrate on 15th September every year because this day a great scientist born, great engineer born. He was M. Visvesvaraya. He received Bharat Ratna in 1955 and he did number of remarkable contributions, but the Kaveri Dam is a special. At that point of time, it was biggest Asian water reservoir, and because of his contribution, the Bharat Ratna was awarded to him. Engineering Day, Engineers Day is quite important for all of us, whether we are directly related to the engineering department or not. But somehow we all are using the engineering device, engineering tools, engineering methodology. Any section you take, whether it is the construction, whether it is the medicine, energy, environment, everywhere, the engineering is quite important. You cannot feel the change if any engineering manipulations are not there. So anything, if you feel that any change is in the society, that is because of the engineers. And I salute all the engineers, those who are working for making our country sustainable in this crisis period even. If you see, today is a kind of crisis period, crisis time, pandemic. We all are locked. Number of limitations are there. Even then, we need the development of engineering. Every day we need something, some new device. Like, if you see, everywhere we are using sanitizer, different kind of sanitizer, different kind of thermal sensors, which is based on infrared sensing. So different things are required. You can stop or lock down your life, but you cannot avoid the need of your life. So you will need, and then the engineering is important. Whenever the new need is coming, the innovations will come up. I request all of my students, faculty members, those who are directly involved in the engineering side, to do something which can make our country sustainable in the future. Because we can see, because of the development of other country, the outflow of the money is there, and until we develop our own technology, we cannot develop our own things. So that we need to develop the indigenous technology. We need to develop the technology in India, by India, and used by the world. Till date, we have very less number of the devices which can be utilized by the world. But definitely, I can see the future. We will have our own device which can be utilized by others also, which can be utilized by the globe also. With this, happy engineers.
Good morning everyone. I Dr. Paritosh Srivastava, HOD Civil Engineering. First of all, I would like to give warmest welcome to Professor Jayanand sir, Vice Chancellor, Noida International University. Dr. A. Shanmugamnatham sir, Director, SET, Noida International University. All my dear faculties and all my dear students. This is a day dedicated to those. Without them, no one would have been able to fly. No one would have been able to make their home. No one would have been able to watch television. No one would have been able to communicate with long distances. Means engineers day. This is a day to salute all the engineers who are passionately involved in rebuilding the country infrastructure with their innovative idea. 15 September Engineers Day is a quite remarkable tribute to the greatest engineers, Bharat Ratna M. Vishwesvaraya. M. Vishwesvaraya is not only a civil engineer but also a national builder and one of the greatest personality in this century, last century. Today, we all gather virtually due to present pandemic situation COVID-19. The technology has made us all to be connected and to celebrate this occasion with same amount of zeal and enthusiasm. Our student presenting poster and various event in the form of virtual network, virtual platform. We should be proud to say today, India produced maximum amount of engineer in the world, who have done wonder in the field of technology and engineering and have played a major role in the development and growth of our nation. In fact, several of them are working all over the world in the various disciplines and leaving an impact.
Very good morning to Honorable VC Sir, Director SET, HODs, faculty members, and my dear students. I, Dr. Neeta Sharma, wish you a very happy Engineers Day on the behalf of Noida International University. Engineers Day, dedicated to those without them no one would have been able to fly, to make their homes, to watch television, and even though to communicate with a long distance. Every day a new technology comes in to take a human to the next level. So from mobile phone to airplane, television to satellite, everything is possible because of engineers. In a nutshell, we can say engineers make the world. Today, India produces the maximum number of engineers in the world who have done wonders in the field of technology and have played a major role in the development and growth of our nation. In fact, several of them are working all over the world in various disciplines and leaving an impact. Leading multinational companies have set up their R&D departments in India to make the most of this talent pool. Whether we talk about new age cars, nanotechnology, artificial intelligence, machine learning, or renewable energy for the future, everything requires vision, and engineers of the future will be doing much more than they are doing today. It is therefore important that the future engineers concentrate on their communication skills, problem solving aptitude, and willingness to learn new things in order to better prepare for the challenges of tomorrow. With these few words, I once again wish you a very happy Engineers Day.
A very warm welcome and good morning to all the dignitaries, faculties and my dear students. Due to ongoing pandemic, we all gather here for the celebration of Engineers Day virtually. This day is celebrated by engineering fraternity on 15th of September every year. The date was selected because it is the birthday of legendary engineer Sir Moksh Kundam Vishwesharya. He is known to be the greatest engineers of all time, who with his vision and dedication in the field of engineering made some exceptional contribution to India. Owing to his contribution, he was honoured with the highest state award of India, the Bharat Ratna, in the year 1955. He was internationally recognized for his genius in harnessing water resources, successful design and construction of several river dams, bridges and implementing irrigation and drinking water schemes all over India. With all this, I wish you again a very happy Engineers Day and all the very best to all my dear engineering students for their poster and model presentation. Thank you.
Good morning to all dignitaries, faculty, staff and my dear student. Today we all assembled here to celebrate 159th birth anniversary of Sir Moksh Kundam Vishwesaraya. He is first civil engineer of India who developed many systems into reality with hard work. No one can ignore his contribution to the building of nation. The government of India appreciated the outstanding contribution to society by awarding him Bharat Ratna in the year 1955. Today, on this special occasion, I would like to take the opportunity to convey the message to all my engineering students that there is no real formula for becoming a great engineer. The only thing you need is knowledge, innovation, and hard work. A nation cannot be developed without the contribution of engineers and their hard work in the development process. Today, on Engineers Day, we should take the inspiration from the life of Sir MV and try to improve the products, services, and develop the new technologies which help us to become a developed country. This is a great tribute to Sir MV. Wish you all a very happy.
Good morning to you all. On this occasion, today I, Madhusmita Sahu, on behalf of Department of Mechanical Engineering, SET, Noida International University, wish you all a happy Engineers Day. As we know, today is the birth anniversary of Bharat Ratna Sri Muchukunda Vishwesvaraya. So today, on September 15th, every year we celebrate Engineers Day in India. He is also called the Builder of India. Engineers are the professional who possesses a versatile mind and help in filling the gap between technology and community. They manufacture, design, build, test before processing the project, and also consider the restriction imposed by the regulation, feasibility, safety, and also the cost of the project. Engineers in India contribute greatly to the nation's technological and industrial growth. Our lives have been made simplified in various ways by the engineers. Simplicity have been brought to every complex process by our engineers only. The best example that we faced recently in this pandemic only. During COVID-19, when the world is fighting against this deadly disease, our country was in lockdown. We get all the facility at our doorstep due to this technology itself. On the other hand, our engineers, in hand with the doctor, manufactured ventilators, mask manufacturing machine, sanitizers, and sanitization equipments to fight with this situation. In context with our Honorable Prime Minister's call for Atmanirbhar Bharat, our engineers made it possible and tried their best to make our country self-dependent. That's why we can say our engineers made the life easier. Salute to all the engineers of our nation. Sir MP said, the way to build a nation is to build a good citizen. The majority of the citizens should be efficient, of good character, and possesses a reasonable high sense of duty. So on this occasion of Engineers Day, I want to say our budding engineers to be a good citizen and sincere to your duty.
Ma'am, you can start now.
My name is Roma Srivastav. I am PhD student. Right now I'm in first semester, SIT Noida in Civil Engineering. Today I'm going to present a poster on the occasion of Engineers Day. So Engineers Day normally we are celebrated in India. The Engineers Day is celebrated on 15 September as a mark of remembrance and tribute to greatest Indian engineer Bharat Ratna Sir M. Vishwaraya on his birth anniversary. He was known at his time the great engineer. So in Engineers Day is celebrated in several countries on the various dates of the year. But in India and Sri Lanka and Tanzania, in these countries, the Engineers Day are celebrated on 15 September. On the occasion of Engineers Day, I'm going to present a online poster presentation on the topic air quality analysis during COVID-19. The case study I have chosen the Pune city. So here are some introduction. I have analyzed the air quality pollutants, which are known basically the criteria pollutants, considering the carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, PM10 particulate matter, PM 2.5 and 10. 2.5 is the very fine particles whose diameter is less than 2.5 microns, and the 10 is the coarser particles, the diameter under 10 microns. with ozone and other meteorological parameter considering the temperature and humidity, because it is seen that they are changes they are changes as per the temperature and humidity. So here we consider all the parameters to know the quality of the air during the COVID-19, when all the anthropogenic, all the man-made activities were on hold. So I have compared the all the data of 2020 during that period, 20th March to 20th June, for 2 months with the last year 2019 data. So here are some results which I analyzed. The concentration of nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide, all the parameters were very less as compared to the last year during that period. So here are using the graph. These are the parameters which I have taken from the site, the CPCB Central Pollution Control Board site, and the meteorological parameter from the weather site. So, and analyze the data statistically from 2019 to 2020, and then we got the result. This is the, you have seen here, this is the permissible limit, and the parameter of each polluted is given here for the month of March, April, and May for the year of 2019, 20, and 2019 and 20. So all the parameters are under permissible limit, but here you see the very much significant amount of reduction has been seen in the all the parameters except the sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide, it is the very much known as the primary pollutant for the coal emissions. So you see the coal, basically the coal emissions is considered or emitted from the power plant, and during the that time, the lockdown time, the power plant was fully functional. So here you see the sulfur dioxide concentration is almost negligible changes, and the carbon monoxide is a very much significant as compared to the other particle. It is also as compared to the other particle, it is also because of the all the activities were hold, but this is also the primary emission from the home, the indoor pollution. So by this survey, it is also shown that all the activities, the indoor, the cooking, heating, were, I mean, in all the houses, it was very much high. So that may be the big one of the reasons. So concentration of carbon dioxide were high during that time, and the air quality index is known. The all the pollutants are very much less. So here you see the air quality index is also very much under the green zone. That is also known as the in general term, it tells us the quality of air in any locations. So the conclusion is this is the very first time when the people feel very good air quality after decades, and this could be the lowest limit for all the pollutants, while this is the first time when all the anthropogenic activities and the construction, the transportation activities were on hold. So in this paper, in this poster presentation, I just try to show all the parameters as with respect to the 2019 and there the percentage reduction as compared to the 2019. So thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Salman Siddiqui and I am a BTech student of final year. The project I want to show you is uh, an anomaly detection project. So this is a project that I developed in IIIT Allahabad's hackathon, and this is particularly useful for detecting anomalies on the road. Uh, so if you can see here, we have a video footage of cars that are moving, and what it's detecting the speed of different cars, and it's actually logging that speed. So what happens is that the screenshot is taken as a log and it's stored into a server when it's uploaded to cloud, and this is like really useful because so what's the purpose of anomaly detection? So what it does is it basically detects the anomalies on the road. So if a car is moving too fast or if a car is moving much faster than other, or if there is some rather movement. So this uh, this seems like a very interesting problem, because we have certain issues with with the original. There are other anomaly detection system also, but I did something different in this. So what it does is, first of all, we try to use a filtering algorithm to actually understand that how the object is moving with respect to each other. So I started with implementation for a Kalman filter. Later I moved it to a different implementation where we use SLAM, simultaneous localized mapping system. So what it does is, we track different objects. So what it does is, so we create an environment of different objects, and each of the object which has been tracked with respect to each other. So for example, you have an environment, you have trees, you have everything. So what it does is, these vehicles are a part of that object, and it actually map it, and it actually map the movement of it. And once we map those movements, we actually extract the feature vectors out of it, and later we build a convolutional neural network, and we train the neural network on those feature vectors. So each and every vehicle's information is being calculated with respect to each other, and so this is the way this seems to work. So the application, as I told you, is in sort of police department or in any traffic department, where it can actually detects that how we can store those things. So it's so this is something like really interesting which we can do with this. So this seems quite simple, but we can scale this project out a to a to a very
Department of Biotechnology, wishing you a very happy and genius day. And I'm going to tell you about biodegradable nanohydrogels in agricultural farming. Biodegradable nanohydrogels in agricultural farming. It is an alternative source for water resources. Nanotechnology is the modern technology used in agriculture. The yield of crop production in dry areas mainly influenced by the variation in amount of rainfall. The most critical factor of failure in yielding is soil moisture. Superabsorbent material are hydrophilic polymer complexes which have capacity to absorb large volume of aqueous fluids. These polymers hold 400 to 1500 of gram of water per dry gram. Hydrogels. Methodology. The silver coated nanoclay composite cross linked polyacrylamide polymers were developed. Silver coated hydrogel was synthesized by polymerization reaction at 65 degrees Celsius in the presence of nitrogen gas. Before polymerization reaction, 10% of silver nitrate was added for the formation of silver. The dried polymerized sample was further crushed and made into a fine powder. Modification of hydrogen. Nanostructured clay is used in three forms: a powder, an aqueous suspension, and in jelly consistence. Silver nitrate is added to the water at 65 degrees Celsius. Subsequently, the clay is added, and finally, after perfect homogenization, 1 gram of dry hydrogel is added. It is allowed to stand for 10 minutes and then filtered. The filter cake is transferred into a china dish for drying. Determination of degree of swelling. 250 mg of prepared polymer is transferred in a glass beaker containing 250 to 300 ml of distilled water and 50 ml of NaCl solution. After the polymer attains equilibrium, it is filtered with the help of filter paper or filter cloth. The degree of swelling is then calculated. The pH value of the product obtained is 6.5 in 0.9% of NaCl solution. Determination of water soluble portion is 0.5 gram of swollen superabsorbent polymer is taken to a beaker containing 500 ml of deionized water and stir for 16 hours at 20 degrees Celsius. After filtration of the gel, the water soluble portion is obtained from the determination of solid content obtained from the filtrate. The water soluble portion value amount to 5.9% in the case of product obtained. Result: silver coated hydrogel were tested and the probability of using the system to modificate the polyacrylate hydrogel was assessed. Some of the prepared hydrogel reach higher value of swelling in the saturated solution than the original unmodified material. Conclusion: the result indicate that the water holding ratio of the water of coated hydrogel and soil with the hydrogel was higher than the original soil. This shows that the silver coated hydrogel has excellent absorbency in soil. These results shows that the silver coated hydrogel has excellent absorbency, water retention and moisture preservation capacity. Thank you.
Yes, you can start now.
Good, okay. Good morning, respected teachers and my dear friend. So this is basically a presentation of my project which I am making on behalf of my university. So I have named it as the Peacemaker. The reason we have made this Peacemaker is because like in the today's scenario and society, whatever we are living in, most of the people are in the private job and they have some lifestyle issues, and other than that, due to that lifestyle issues, they cannot go to the gym, they cannot maintain their physical fitness, they cannot maintain themselves. So they are getting like mostly they are getting of hypertension and blood pressures and heart related diseases. So there is a rapid growth like for these things from age to 20 to 40, like the people from age group of 20 to 40 are maximum in this thing. Like they're getting heart diseases, they're getting hypertensions, they're getting low blood pressure, high blood pressures, they're getting severe heart rates, they're having some serious heart problem as well. This is just because of that night office work, the job insecurities, business plannings, financial insecurities, home plannings. Other than that they have such responsibilities that which they have to achieve. So basically my device is basically a combination of a thing which is like which will be monitoring blood pressure. It comprises of a blood pressure monitoring machine, it comprises of a heart rate monitoring machine, and it comprises of a ECG machine. All of it will be controlled by Arduino, which will be like linked with the computer system, and everything is set on the Arduino with all the codings and done. So like I would like to present what about this is a basic continuation of whatever it is there, like what the number of cases which have been seen, just because like now we are talking about why do we need this. So this is just a graph presenting why do we need this. Well, this is a survey which was given by National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey, which shows around there has been a continuous rise in like number of cases for the heart related diseases in men and women all over the world. This is basically a graph of United States. So there has been a rise of 2.3% every year in the number of cases of people who are being treated for heart and cardiac diseases. So when we are talking about Arduino, first we should know what is Arduino. So Arduino is basically a board which operates on both the analog as well as digital signals both. So this is basically a pin description of every part whichever is there on this. So starting from the left hand side, we have that A0 to A5. These are all the analog pins which will help us in receiving the analog signals. VN is the power input signal. GND is the ground pins. 5 VCC, there is 5 volt, there is VCC also, which is just a power supply thing. If we want to operate this thing on a very low voltage, we use 3.3 volt power input. On the right hand side, we have RX and TX pins, which are the receiver and transmitter pin. Other than that, we have these digital pins, which are ranging from 0 1 is the receiver and transmitter. Then from 2 to 13, we have the digital pins, which will be using as a digital receivers and transmitters. Other than that, we have RX TX switches, which will continuously show us about like whether we are receiving or transmitting signals from this or not. We can see that this is the little silver part in the middle. This is a clock which receives continuous clock pulses, which keeps on counting after every particular amount of time. We will be sending signals to the machine and receiving whatever signals we will be cutting back. So this is my components of the blood pressure monitoring machine, whatever we will be using in that. So for that, we will be using a BP monitor. Other than that, we'll be using Arduino Uno, air valve, pressure transducer, BP sensor modules, Arduino compatible LCD, resistors, breadboard, power supply, and blood pressure cuff. The users of the following are: blood pressure monitor is used as a measuring devices. Arduino Uno will be a regulating between the machine and the system. Air valve is because we are if you are using the manual BP monitoring machine, we have to use that pressure transducer in which we have to distribute the equal amount of pressure which is going from pressure transducer to the machine. So for that we use air valve. Pressure transducer is used to measure the pressure signal into the analog signal, which will be then recorded by the Arduino. Arduino compatible LCD will be used to just measure and to just like it will be used as a output devices to show how much blood pressure is in the like how much blood pressure is recorded. Resistors will be controlled for the power regulation. Breadboard will be used for the making connection and easy for us. Power supply will be giving a 9-volt power supply for everything. And blood pressure cuffs depend on different people. Like some of the people have a very heavy hand, so they have different kind of this blood pressure cuff. Other than that, they have some kind of people have different kind of diseases, so we have different kinds of cuff we will be using for them also. So how will it work? We will use the BP monitoring machine. They will be set off. They will be like we will set a level of PSI, which will be monitored by the pressure transducer, which will allow only that amount of pressure to be sent to that blood pressure machine, which will be measuring this blood pressure. So this pressure transducer will basically help us in maintaining that or achieving that pressure which we are required. So the normal systolic and diastolic pressure is 120 and 80 respectively. But normal reaching a normal human being can have a blood pressure of ranging up to 200. So it is required 0.26645 pressure in bar. So for the conversion, we used to divide it by how much of whatever amount of pressure do we need. We used to divide it by 750, so it will convert us into the atmospheric bar pressure. Then the pressure transducer will forward the data. The pressure transducer will forward that pressure into BP machine, and that BP machine will measure it, and it will show us on the display thing screen. This is the layout diagram of the. This is the basic layout diagram, which will be helping us, which will be telling us about what is the connection procedure. Because I don't have the hardware right now, so I cannot show my current like procedure on that. The ground is plus the ground will be attached to the ground pin. The VCC is plus 5 volt. V in is the input voltage. We are using these resistors here because there is a continuous fluctuation which will be received from the Arduino Uno, because we have the connection in the laptop as well, and we will be giving an external power supply to that also. That why we use our resistor, that it might not harm the our PC machine. So after that, on the second part, we have our heartbeat sensor. Like if a person is suffering from a heart-related disease, he will have three things. One will be unstable blood pressure. Second thing is unstable heart rate. And if these things are pursuing, then he might be having an unstable heart status, like the ECG electrocardiograph will be unstable. So the heartbeat sensor will basically tells us about how much, like on what rate his heart or heart is working. So heart rate is basically an optical sensor. Like it will be sending rays in our hands. It gets to like it has a light. It gets to our hand. It reflects from our skin and gets back to the optical receiver. So this the difference between this will tell us about how much heartbeat is going on that particular per second. So basically, this is an LED light source which will be counting that how what is the amount of heartbeat per minute he is going through. So this is the heartbeat sensor. Like this is the reason for this. We have to keep the heartbeat sensor is that this is the amount. Like this is basically a graph of Indian thing, which is given by Divergent Trends. And there is basically it was released by AIMS few days back. So this is basically the amount of people who are suffering from cardiac diseases. So this is basically a need of an hour, that we have to focus on this thing, that we have something which will be able to help them cure this. The reason being that medical is a very like a tough thing right now. So this is basically a connection of heartbeat sensor. We have basically two kinds of heartbeat sensor. One you can see on the left is a red thing, which is basically a more proximity based heartbeat sensor. So like if you are making a machine, so we have to think about everything, because if an old person is sitting there, or if you're treating an old person, we need totally a very base proximity sensor, because sometimes it's very hard to calculate the heartbeat from the hands also. Like if we are calculating about a general person, we can use this on the right hand side. You can see there's a sensor. We can use that also because it's very easy and it's very like it's not very costly. It's very cheap. So for a cheap thing and like if you are making if you want to make this project short and very not costly, then we can use this also. On the other hand, that then we have ECG machine, which is electrocardiography. So heart diseases are basically a big issues which I've seen, like which I've shown in the last some slides. So for this, we are like we will be using a ECG monitoring thing, which is basically a sensor called as AD8232. It is an ECG sensor. So basically, this is the chip which gives us an abstract about the whatever the condition of heart and how the heart is working. We will be sending electro signals to the heart, which will be received by heart, and it will send back the signals with its original that position. Like heart has some thing which distributes the current also. So it will attract to that and it will send back the signal. So for that we are using electrocardiography. So this is basically a different types of thing we have using. So like you can see there is particular three kinds of thing. So one is RA, LA and RL. So like on the basic electro ECG machine, we will be using like on the my basis which all I am using, we will be using three things: right arm, left arm and right leg. So this is basically all the three parts where you can have to be measuring a the ECG. The second thing is that output is 3.3 volts, so it will be operating on a very less voltage, so it's not harmful for us and it's not that tough to operate, and that's like very easy and very cheap to maintain things. Working of an ECG, before this you have to understand this figure. So this is, as you can see, that we have a wave transformation going on. So this is P wave. P wave is basically the wave which are sent by our ECG point. Then QR is a wave which is sent to the heart, and R is a repetition wave which is sent back to the heart from which is sent back to the heart to the ECG machine, and which will be recorded to the Arduino. This is the T wave. T wave is basically the time difference between the PQ the QR wave and RS wave. So this is the interval which we study, that how much, what is the segment of heart we have been studying about, and what is wrong and what is right. So this is basically a study. On the right hand side you can see this is basically a study on what is the different segmentation what we have to focus upon while doing this. Other than that, my analysis and finding is that people are nowadays having very much problem related to heart. So it is very like it's our duty, like being a technology student, it's our duty to provide them with ease of this thing and to make it available at a very cheap cost. So this is basically a machine which will be costing around 3,500 to 4,000 rupees machine. And then on general, if you're going to a physician for getting your blood pressure check, it would at least take 100 rupees for the blood pressure thing. Heartbeat sensor is basically like more of ever it's free, and for the ECG you have to pay 500 rupees at one time. And if a person is suffering from all these diseases, then he have to go to the hospital regularly for with. So this is basically a combination of all the things which I'll be making in. The results and discussion. This, as you can see, this is the heart rate sensor, which is I have told you about, is a very basic heart rate sensor. We will be displaying the heart rate sensor like this. This thing I have worked upon earlier, and it's a very proximity is very good about this heart rate sensor also. So it will be very easy for us to maintain that thing, and it will be very easy for us to monitor the things which is going on. This is the proximity. This is the thing which we get when we put the these ECG straps on our body, and this will be we will be getting this on the serial plotter. You can see, as you can see, this is a 9600 baud. We can set this signal according to us. This is basically the time pulse which will be giving back to the signal on whatever time you want to get to receive the signal back to your body. Future discussion and recommendations are that like we can use the IoT thing to check whether what is the condition of your heart, and to keep a continuous record on whatever we are doing and we are not doing. Like from the past records, whatever you record or whatever your report has been proceeded or it has declined, whatever it is. Other than that, we can use oximeter, which will be based on heart sensor to check the oxygen level as well. And we can use personal Bluetooth based operating system to see whether we have like whatever condition is going on is not at all.
Hello everyone, my name is Shivam Saraswat, third year BTech Computer Science and Engineering, Noida International University. Today I'll be speaking on a very interesting topic, quantum computing. Quantum computing could spur the development of new breakthroughs in science, medications to save lives, machine learning, methods to diagnose illness sooner, materials to make more efficient devices and structures, financial strategies to live well in retirement, and algorithms to quickly direct resources such as ambulances. But what exactly is quantum computing and what does it take to achieve these quantum breakthroughs? Well, to understand quantum computing, first we need to understand the quantum properties it works on, that is, superposition and entanglement. Superposition refers to the combination of states we would ordinarily describe independent. To make classical analogy, if you play two musical notes at once, what you will hear is a superposition of the two notes. Entanglement. Entanglement is a physical phenomena that occurs with a pair or group of particles that is generated, interact, or share spatial proximity in a way such that the quantum state cannot be described independent. Now we come to the fundamentals of quantum computing. As we know, all computing rely on fundamental ability to store and manipulate information. Current computers manipulate individual bits which store information as binary 0 and 1 states. Quantum computing rely on quantum bits or qubits. Qubits exist in superposition. They represent atoms, ions, photons or electrons. Due to its functioning on qubits, a quantum computer can contain multiple states of zeros and ones simultaneously. It has the potential to be millions of times more powerful than today's most powerful supercomputer, that is Summit, built by IBM. While the power of quantum computing is impressive, it does not mean that existing software simply runs a billion times faster. Rather, quantum computers have certain types of problems which they are good at solving. Now we are going to discuss a few applications of quantum computers. First, artificial intelligence. A primary application for quantum computing is artificial intelligence. AI is based on the principle of learning from experience, becoming more accurate as feedback is given, until the computer program appears to exhibit intelligence. This feedback is based on calculating the probabilities for many possible choices, and so AI is an ideal candidate for quantum computation. It promises to disrupt every industry from automotives to medicine, and it's been said AI will be the 21st century what electricity was to 20th. For example, Lockheed Martin plans to use its D-Wave quantum computer to test autopilot software that is currently too complex for classical computers, and Google is using quantum computer to design software that can distinguish cars from landmarks, which we have already reached to the point where AI is creating more AI, and so it's important to rapidly escalate. Another example is precision modeling of molecular interactions. Finding the optimum configuration of chemical reactions, such quantum chemistry is so complex that only simplest molecules can be analyzed by today's digital computers. Chemical reactions are quantum in nature, as they form highly entangled quantum superposition states, but fully developed quantum computers would not have any difficulty evaluating even the most complex processes. Now, let's talk about cryptography. Most online security currently depends on the difficulty of factoring large numbers into primes. While this can presently be accomplished by using digital computers to search through every possible factor, the immense time required makes cracking the code expensive and impractical. Quantum computers can perform such factoring exponentially more efficient than digital computers, meaning such security methods will soon become obsolete. Now we come to financial modeling. Modern markets are some of the most complicated systems in existence. While we have developed increasingly scientific and mathematical tools to address this, it still suffers from one major difference between other scientific fields. There is no controlled setting in which to run experiments. To solve this, investors and analysts have turned to quantum computing. One immediate advantage is that the randomness inherent to quantum computers is congruent to the stochastic nature of financial markets. Investors often wish to evaluate the distribution of outcomes under an extremely large number of scenarios generated at random. So these were a few applications of quantum computing. Now let's talk about the drawbacks of quantum computing. It is extremely expensive, it is very hard to program, at the same time, it has limited use at present. So, this sums up our today's topic quantum computing. Thank you.
Okay, you can start now.
A very good morning to respected HOD ma'am and my respected teachers and my colleagues. Myself as a Rakesh, a student of the MTech VLSI. Today I am going to start a topic, a low power pulse trigger D flip flop. Firstly, we will explain why I am taking the D flip flop. The advantage of D flip flop is regarding the other flip flop is that we use the D flip flop as a pulse triggered, as a frequency divider, as a counter making, and many others application. We use only the D flip flop. We have other also, but normally we consist on a D. What are the objectives of this presentation? In this presentation, I am going to explain the basic operation of the D flip-flop and then the reset or the preset inputs applying on the D flip-flop. Finally, I will simulate this on a Tanner tool and find out the analysis of the different parameter on this. This is the working of the D flip-flop. When the D is equals to 0, D is equals to 1. Whatever is the input I am providing, it basically depends on the clock we are given to the circuit. When the clock is low or a 0, whatever is on the input, it will remains the same at the output terminal what was in the previous state. But when the clock is 1, then the input terminals, whatever is on the input, it will goes to the output terminal when the clock is 1. This is a circuit representation of a low power pulse trigger D flip flop. I have taken this from the Ahmad Karimi, which is a proposed existing circuit diagram of the pulse trigger D flip flop, which was published in the year 2017. And from the next slide, Kazal Sahu will present.
This is a low power This is a low power pulse triggered flip flop. There are main three groups of flip flop. First one is a pulse triggered flip flop. Second one is the transmission gate flip flop, and third one is the master slave flip flop. But here only we will discuss pulse triggered D flip flop. Pulse triggered flip flop are most commonly used to their single latch architecture or speed advantage and low power consumption. The pulse triggered D flip flop are divided into two groups based on place of pulse generator. First one is implicit pulse triggered flip flop and second one is explicit pulse triggered D flip flop. Implicit pulse triggered D flip flop, in which the latch contains the power generator, and in explicit pulse triggered D flip flop, in which the latch is separated from the pulse generator. These are the simulation parameters. Here I am use on number of transistors is used 28 and hold time is 110. Setup time is minus 83.8 and delay time is minimum delay time D2Q is 118.9. These are the simulation diagram of our circuit. Here we are using on Tanner tool. These are the output waveform. When we will give the data, it means our clock is high. If we will provide D is equal to 1, then we will get the output Q is also 1 and Q bar is 0. These are the simulation result of power. The average power is here. We will calculate 12.25 activity and 25% activity, 50% activity and 100% activity. Then we will get the values of power at 12.25 power activity, 24.03 and 50% activity. It means then we will get the power 25.26, and when our power is average power is at 50% activity 28.72 and 100% at 34.41. These are the conclusion. Here we are using 90 here we are work on 90 nanometer technology on CMOS technology. Here we are using Tanner tool for simulation or simulate and the get result. We can improve the memory cell and microprocessor performance. And here we are reduce the power consumption and leakage power. We use the transmission gate to control the input, and it various type of register also we can use in flip flop. These are the references of our paper. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Pankaj Srivastava and I am the student of BTech Computer Science and Engineering. And today my poster is on the topic the future of digital healthcare in human life. So now let's have a look at the poster. We all know that we are entering an age of human empowerment where technology will augment humanity, and it is going to be fundamentally improve the way we live and work. And AI is playing a huge role in this. AI is powering the next paradigm shift in human machine interaction. Now, the question is how? We all are aware of connected health devices. Yes, we are. And those devices include wearables, smartwatches, sensors, trackers, smartphones, etc. And these have been around for a while. But the latest generation of these devices is moving far beyond that. Do we really think the digital health of the future will be bounded only just by these smartphones and wearables? I don't think so. Okay, let's have some examples. Just think about what if our daily object that we use in our daily lives will help us to achieve our health goals? What if our daily mirror can detect changes in skin conditions and in our eye health? Or we can say that what if our sleeping bed can detect our sleep patterns, our body temperature, the interruptions which we got in between the sleeps? Or the other, we can talk about car. What if our car can measure our diabetes just by having access to our glucometers? And there are many more examples of daily objects. These objects are getting really smart, and trust me, these objects really exist. The milestones covered by artificial intelligence or AI is has brought the world on its toes. The level of acceleration of growth in a healthcare as well as in various industries have been pretty quick, and sometimes it is totally unpredictable. Trust me, totally unpredictable. You will not be able to predict what is happening around you. So, to wrap up, I'll only say that we have scratched very few examples of artificial intelligence in our day-to-day lives. Have habitual interactions with AI far beyond what is explained in this poster. Intelligence is definitely improving the healthcare industry. It will surely become the new infrastructure powering a second industrial revolution.
Wishing you a very happy Engineers Day. Good afternoon to you all. I am Nikhil Kashyap from final year BTech in Biotechnology. I am going to present a poster on the topic of green bin, a smart compost bin. Now I'm presenting my screen. Now here's the screen. Smart bin. Our organic material is not composed.
is thrown down with the garbage. It end up with the landfill about 15% of the garbage. It combining from homes is actually made up of organic material and decomposite. A chemical replacing chemical fertilizer with compost, we automatically reduce the chemical in the soil. Now the other requirements are body, servomotor, shaft, fin, microcontroller, humidity sensor, thermometer, mini water storage, heater, pipe, fragrance box, outlet value, monitoring device. Now let's see how does the smart bin work. Before looking at how smart bin works, let's have look its features. A communication module allows notification to send when the bin is ready to be emptied or if there are any issues. Compactor to hold rough waste. A solar panel to provide a sustainable energy source for the bin. Enclosed design to prevent pests for gaining access to the waste and slow down the decomposition. A hopper handle. Inside the grain bin, the work how it's work. Let's see here. The working is the water inserted in the bin by the help of motor. Water from the water storage tank is added to the waste inside the bin through the pipes if sufficient quantity managed by the humidity store sensors. Here the model how it's work. The thermometer will check the temperature. If it increases the servo motor, it will automatically until the temperature get cool. All the data will shown on the mini on the monitoring screen and bin can be controlled by the mobile phone from anywhere. The process as goes follows. The biodegradable waste is loaded with the composting unit. Biodegradable waste is chopping finally to increase the area of decomposition with the help of cutting blade setup. Addition of compost starter consisting of microbes will start the composting process. Screens are provided at the bottom for separating the liquid fertilizer. The manure is then collected by the opening provided side wall of composting unit. Outlet are provided to collect both solid liquid fertilizers. Here the application. It will use in different areas in available in different size as well. It will use in kitchen and a very compact size. It used in fertilizer company, used in hotels, used in villages. And the benefits are it's help in landfill waste, take action on climate change, feeding the soil, reducing the chemical, saving waters, understanding the environmentalism. Benefit of a smart bin. A smart bin waste oil, monitoring the solution ensure that you know the perfect time to collect from your client. Less frequent collection are needed and you will bring the higher volume home without having worry about expensive spillages and costly cleanups. With the less collection come less cost in the form of driver hours, truck fare, admin, and the fuel spent. Meaning even if soil prices are down, your operation is working as cost efficiently as possible, improving your bottom line. A smart bin is proven best oil level sensor tank monitoring solution, enhancing the operation waste to collect the excess of globe of zero maintenance or of cleanup required. The rubbish is placed into the container and the sensor measure its capacity. The capacitor then compresses the rubbish and measure the compact trash resistance. Finally, notify case are the sent via email or SMS when bin is full or ready to empty. As we know, a smart bin for a smart city only for a smart city because there is a much and much technology that we control from our mobile phone or anywhere in the world. Thank you.
Hello everyone, myself Vipin Kumar and my teammate Abdesh Mehto Rahul Kumar from BTech CSE second year of Noida International University. We want to innovate an idea about role of smartwatch in daily life and how it is useful in current pandemic situation of COVID-19. We could use a number of features and sensors in this watch that can be quite helpful in different ways. First, to maintain social distancing. Suppose if two people wearing a watch and are in contact with each other via 2 feet, then the alarm will ring in both the clock and will indicate that please maintain proper distance. Secondly, we can also fit the walkie-talkie in this watch. By interconnecting both the watches, two people can also talk among themselves so that proper distance can be observed. We also add another feature in this watch like to measure temperature, blood pressure by connecting two watches to each other, and we can also see these parameters of each other in its watch by which both person got aware. We can also activate a system of auto dialing at this watch as if a person has an accident or high or low blood pressure or any other health related issue, then it automatically dial an emergency healthcare number. If seen from a technical perspective, we can install different types of sensors and features in this watch so that people make themselves feel safe. Thank you very much.
Use of drones or unmanned aerial vehicle (UAV) in commercial sector and disaster management brings a great potential to alter several industries and save millions of lives. Greetings everyone. I, Ankita Balan from BTech Computer Science, second year, would like to present my topic on the role of drones in rural and in disaster affected areas on the auspicious occasion of National Engineers Day. The earliest record of unmanned aerial vehicle for war fights was in July 1849. Later was seen in every fights and nuclear tests. Innovation of UAV started in the 1900s and was originally designed for personal target practice. Over a period of time, UAV demonstrated the possibility of cheaper, more capable fighting equipment deployable without risk of aircrew. A drone or a UAV typically refers to a pilotless aircraft that operates through a combination of technologies, including computer vision, artificial intelligence, object avoidance technology, and others. Lately, drones are not only a part of defense organization and tech expert consumers. Large-scale companies and private individuals are now starting to see the potential of drones and may possess where few of them have already started using it in commercial industries as well as disaster management processes. Drones can provide significant benefits for residents and businesses in rural areas, delivering medical supplies, collecting data on the status of the crop, providing internet connectivity, etc. Area with sparse population and rough terrain, mobility is a big obstacle. The most viable option to deliver immediate required medications would be drone delivery. With the help of drones, same-day delivery and instant delivery is possible in remote areas. Drones can give the agriculture industry a high technology makeover in planning and strategy based on real-time data gathering of the crops. In the near future, drones can help in soil and feed analysis, planting, crop spraying, crop monitoring, irrigation, etc. While our increasingly hyper-connected world brings many benefits, it also exacerbates inequalities for those large population of this population that have limited or no internet connectivity. Such a network would be far less expensive, far less disruptive, take far less time to build than implement a wired or land-based infrastructure over very large swath of the earth where no communication infrastructure currently exists. When environmental disaster strikes, the first 72 hours are critical. Drones can be quickly deployed over disaster zone. Drones can be used in disasters through all four stages of the disaster life cycle: prevention, preparation, response, and recovery. After a disaster, drones can help relief workers understand the big picture, locate survivors more quickly, perform structural analysis of damaged infrastructure, deliver supplies and equipment, and evacuate casualties, and help put fire. Besides helping disaster victims, drones can help keep recovery worker safe by providing aerial data in impacted area deemed too dangerous to go. Drones can even relay Wi-Fi, radio connection, and cellular mobile services. Drones are becoming more accessible by the day, possibly leading them to replace humans in highly dangerous jobs. The biggest industry in the world are battling in awe to see who can utilize drones most efficiently. Investments in drones tech will grow massively over a few years. If used correctly and morally, drones could have a hugely positive effect on our planet and our well-being. Thank you.
Okay, start.
A warm welcome to everyone present here. This is Farazul Haq from BTech Civil Engineering Department, School of Engineering and Technology, Noida International University. I am hereby to present my poster on Intelligent Transportation System on the eve of Engineering Day. Let us start with why Engineering Day is celebrated and when it is celebrated. Engineers Day is celebrated on 15th September every year in India, remembering the birthday of one of the greatest engineers in India so far and a great human being, Sir Moksha Gundam Vishweshwarya, who was internationally popular for his brilliance and his great achievement in harnessing the water resources in India. Now, let me start with my slide that is on intelligent transportation system. An ITS is an advanced application which aims to provide innovative services relating to different modes of transport and traffic management and enable users to be better informed and make safer, more coordinated, and a smarter use of transport networks. Some of these technologies include calling for emergency services when an accident occurs and using cameras to enforce traffic laws or signs that mark speed limit changes depending on the conditions. Although ITS may refer to all modes of transport, the Directive of European Union made on July 7, 2010 defined ITS as system in which information and communication technologies are applied in the field of road transport, including infrastructure, vehicles and users, and in traffic management and mobility management, as well as for interfaces with other modes of transport. Coming further, let us now study what intelligent transportation technologies include. Intelligent transport systems vary in techniques applied, from basic management systems such as car navigation, traffic signal control system, container management system, variable message signs, automatic number plate recognition, or speed cameras to monitor applications such as CCTV systems, and more advanced applications that integrate live data and feedback from a number of other sources such as parking, guidance, and information system, weather information bridge, bridge de-icing. This bridge de-icing is done in US, and like additionally, predictive techniques are being developed to allow the advanced modeling and comparison with historical baseline data. Now, what are the benefits of ITS? If we read the benefits of ITS, it helps us in saving our time in the moment from one place to another. It helps to reduce the fatalities and the crashes. That is, it reduces the accident rate. It helps in bringing the calm environment. How? By reducing the fuel use in the car, in any vehicle. We can go for electronic vehicles that are fuel efficient, that do not require any sort of fuel, so that we can reduce the pollution that is day by day increasing in our country. It also helps in growing the economy. How it activates the economy when the fuel is used less fuel is used, and the wireless communications like floating car data, computational technologies, vehicle re-identification, GPS based methods, smartphone based reach monitoring, sensing, inductive loop detection, video vehicle detection, Bluetooth detection. These all technologies help in reducing the cost rather than going for the old technologies, and help us to save the time and use the resources that are day to day increasing in our life. If we check on this slide, how ITS benefits, it has been seen that ITS reduces the 44% of the accidental cost. How it saves the accidental cost? When less amount of accidents occur, the accidental cost is automatically reduced. Time saving. How it is time saving? When the lights extra work automatically on the internet based systems, on the modern technology, there is no need for anyone to stand on the signals, etc. The cars will move according to the lights that are being through the sensors, that are being used through the sensors. It emissions of fuel reduced by 6%. 6% now in our country. The latest car technologies are being used that are based on the electricity, which helps in reducing the use of fuel. The fuel is now being replaced with the electrical based vehicles. So in short, ITS system is going to be a more beneficial transportation system, which will help in reducing the time, saving the money, and in making a better environment. In Europe, the network of National ITS Association is a group of national ITS interests. It was officially announced on 7 October 2004 in London. In United States, each state has its ITS chapter that holds a yearly conference to promote and showcase ITS technologies and ideas. Representatives from each department of transportation within the state attend this conference. Smart transportation and new business models are being introduced with this ITS. How? New mobility and smart transportation models are emerging globally. Bike sharing, car sharing, and scooter sharing schemes like Lime or Bird are continuing to gain popularity. Electric vehicle charging schemes are taking off in many cities. The connected car is growing market segment, while new smart parking solutions are being used by the computers and the shoppers all over the world. All these new models provide opportunities for solving the last mile issue in urban areas. ITS in the connected world. Mobile operators are becoming a significant player in these value chains. Dedicated apps can be used to make mobile payments, provide data insights, and navigation tools. How mobile payments are being done? You now the electronic challans are being. If anyone got fined by traffic police or extra, he can pay his fine through mobile. Now payment on toll plaza can be done through mobiles. This is how ITS is taking a new place in the undergrowing, or I can say
Good morning everyone, this is Ravi Kari from BTech Mechanical Engineering 4th year. Happy Engineers Day to all. I am here to presenting my poster on green technology. Firstly, I want to tell you about what is green technology. In short, we can say that green technology is that technology which is loved by our environment. Okay, now I want to tell you that why we need to use green technology. Nowadays, that the technology we are going to use is just exhausted our environment. For in behalf of that, it's our duty that we all need to preserve or protect our Mother Earth. That's why we need to use a green technology. Okay. Now I want to tell you that why we need green technology. Okay. I just want to explain by some examples such as that nowadays we all know that fossil fuels are just going to drain. Okay. On behalf of that, our engineers and scientists are just introduce a new technology that is called a electrical technology, or electrical cars are going to running. Okay. And other things are also going. Now I want other examples of this are that green fuels such as tidal energy, wind energy, solar energy, and recently our research and developers and scientists are going to research on a green fuel, algae fuel, on algae fuel. Okay. Now I want to tell you some more examples to clear all your doubts. Okay. And in green technology that comes in our today's life and all things. Okay. And we all can just adopt and seize in our day-to-day life that our new societies which are going to develop all are use of green technology. I am going to just tell you how they are used to how they are use green technology. In new societies, we all know that they are just maintain or they are just preserve their waste so that they can use these waste and they can form a compost, as we all know that. And the other thing that government has also help us to use that green technology is that in some areas just government just provide some facilities to use solar powers and other things. Okay. And now I want to tell you that what is the benefits of this green technology. The benefits of this green technology, we all know that we all love our environment, and the benefits are that it protects our environment. Why we need to protect our environment? Just because of technology we are using right now, they just exhaust. How they exhaust? They just exhaust for environment. We all know that, but how they exhaust? Just because we use this day-to-day life in technology, we are just habitual of this technology, and they just do a global warming, and we all know that there is a depletion in ozone layer and many other things. Okay, we can say carbon emission also. Okay, we need to just aware and think about this. Okay, it's our duty to protect our environment. We all know that green technology is also helpful in our agriculture fields. Okay, now we all know that chemicals are harmful for our body also, and the fertilizers that are used by the farmers like urea and other things, we all know that's good, but at some point we all know that it is harmful for our body. We all know that, but we are not ready to accept. But now the situation is which is in front of us, which is going on, is that we need to accept that truth. In behalf of that, we all know that what the farmers are doing, that we all know that cow dungs in the village. In our village, we all know that the cow dungs waste and agriculture waste, they just throw on their farming lands, which due to which their fertility will increase. Fertility are increased. I know that just because of this, we all know that just because of this, it will take some time. But the urea we are used, what is happened that we just mix the urea with our seeds. This urea will just drain some nutrients of the soil. Okay, after that the soil will become infertile due to after some instant of time. For this, now scientists are just to be care and they are just research. And due to this research, we all came to know that the agriculture waste is very beneficial for our soil. And we all know that nowadays farmers are just aware, and they are just putting all this agriculture waste in their land. And we all know that cow dung is also used as a fuel, and many other things. We all know that. Okay, and now I want to tell some more examples that just nowadays we all know the developed cities. We can go Delhi, Noida, Kolkata, Bombay. They are sewer lines. Okay, and these sewer waste is also used by our government for make a compost. And these compost are not, they are just sell to farmers not at very high price, at a very low price. This also benefits for farmers. And many other things in our society now, we can say many societies are developed in flats, and at everything we can see that there are some major steps that the government has issued. That we all need to follow it. There should be a proper waste management system. And what does it help? The proper waste management systems just help to clean our environment. Not only clean our environment, but also it helps us to make the compost naturally. And we all know that it's the natural component, natural compost is very helpful for our soil to remain its fertility, and which is also helpful for our environment and for us also. Due to this reason, we all know that now situation, current situation, we all know that we are facing with COVID. We all are very familiar with coronavirus. Okay, and our scientists and doctors just said us if someone is healthy and if someone's immune system is good, then it doesn't affect for them. I'm not saying don't be lied, but yes, it's true. That is said by our scientists and doctors. And we all know that urea and other fertilizers and other chemical fertilizers, insecticide and pesticide, just harm our body. Okay, just because of this, just to remind this, and government just followed the issues.
I consider it a great privilege to propose a vote of thanks on this Engineers Day. Today, my words are not enough to express the gratitude. On behalf of School of Engineering and Technology, Noida International University, first and foremost, I would like to thank our Honorable Chancellor, Professor Dr. Vikram Singh Sir, who, as always, boosts us with his charismatic and energetic speech. Sir, we will remain grateful and we thank you for being with us today. Now, I would like to thank Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Jayanand Sir, who graced us with his thought and for being the catalyst that stimulated us to do our best. I would also like to thank our respected Director, Professor Dr. Shanmuganathan Sir, for all words of wisdom that radiated a source of energy within us. My heartfelt thanks goes out to all our heads, faculty members, coordinators for their involvement beyond their comfort zones. Last but not the least, I thank all the students for showing their interest, and I also acknowledge the contributions of all those who have presented papers, posters and PPTs. Once again, thank you very much for making this day a success.